Hi, I'm Mooncaster. I've been asked several times to write a book about my life. I tried one time. I can't sit still long enough. It would never get finished. So I thought I would do it this way. Uh, People seem to like listening to me talk. I think I could find a few people that would disagree, but oh well. One of the people seem to want to know so much about me. I never have understood why, but one of the things I'm always asked is, how did I know I was a witch? Truly, I don't really have a specific time that I put on that. I My father, he always told us stories. He was one of the best storytellers I've ever known in my life. And as I was growing up, he told us a story about a witch named Granny Bam Bam. And she had a dragon that was always into trouble. I can't remember what his name was, but he was always in trouble. And they were long running stories of her and this dragon and all the stuff they got into, all the trouble they got into. They lived in the Okefenokee Swamp. I don't even know if that's a real place. But he was great at it. So for me, witches and dragons and magic, that was all awesome. Because my father was still telling us those stories when I was 18 and I left home. They were that good. We would beg him to. So it was always just something that it didn't seem odd. I didn't think of myself as a witch at any point, but I always knew things. And I didn't know anybody else could do that. I didn't even know what it was. Sometimes I knew things before they happened, and then after they happened, it was like, okay, no, I didn't want to know about that. And along with that, I grew up suffering from a very rare mental disorder. And I fought that all of my adult life, my childhood and my adult life. I was diagnosed with a multiple personality. That's very rare. No, I'm not schizophrenic. Some people would disagree, but I'm not schizophrenic. I had a genuine multiple personality. And when you have that, there are literally like two people living inside of your body. The other person has their own things that they do, their own personality, their own clothes, their own, apparently, my children and my husband told me my voice would change. Until I was in my 40s, I had no idea. I had no idea that that I was doing these things, that I would lose time. I would, and as I got older, it got worse, but I could just sort of zone out. I could just go away. It didn't really matter. It was very abusive in my home when I was growing up, so I just would escape inside my head, just go away. As I got older, it got harder and harder to tell the difference between what was real and what wasn't real. My emotions were up and down and up and down and up and down. It just was a nightmare. I knew something was wrong with me. I had always known something was just not right about me. And I don't know what I measured that by, but when I left home, I started looking for doctors. I went to counselors, I went to doctors, I went to groups, I went to this, I went to that, and nothing helped. Nothing helped and nothing worked. And it seemed all they wanted to do was just dope me up and put me in a corner somewhere and just have me shut up. Well, I don't know how to shut up. I kept looking. Finally, my psychiatrist got put in a loony bin. So when that happened, I kind of quit looking. I was like, y'all can't help me. So I quit. And I got addicted to prescription medicine, high volumes of prescription medicine. I became a cutter. I was a cutter for 15 years. And the thing that people don't seem to understand is that people who cut, they're not looking to kill themselves. They truly aren't. That's the only way we know how to tell if we're still alive most of the time. That was the way it was for me. If I could see myself bleed, then I knew, okay, there's still a heartbeat in there somewhere. The rest of it is just out of this world, but okay. And then I got to a point where I knew that if I did not get some help, I was going to die. I was going to die, and I was going to either die by my own hand or by accident by my own hand. It was getting to be very scary. I was afraid of myself. That's a terrifying thing, to be afraid of yourself. How do you run from yourself? How do you protect yourself from yourself? You can't, because it's all up here. And you can't run away from what's following you. So I came home one day and I told my husband, I said, if I don't get some help, I'm going to die. And the next day he brought me a list of doctors to go to. And for 15 years, I worked on my recovery. When one of my daughters was in college, this is how I found out I really was a lot sicker than I knew.